Hello and welcome back to the Brew Interviews, the only show with hosts that follow the word of our Lord and Savior, Mr. Chuck Norris. It is episode 82, and one of our favorite guests is finally back to enjoy some cold beers, to shoot the shit, and to also probably plug his new book that is coming out in August. So probably most of that. This week on the Brew Interviews.
The Brew Interviews, coast to coast, brews, faves, and more with Lauren and Robbie.
Lauren, today is a wonderful day. We have our friend back in the podcast, and things are feeling right again. So let's all give a hand to the man who single-handedly created the coronavirus to sell more books, Mr. D.L. Jennings. Dave, how have you been?
I have been fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. And I think my coronavirus scheme is working. I'm almost positive.
Definitely.
Yeah. This I started it in China, and it kind of blew up. I feel a little guilty about it, but
yeah, it's okay.
Honestly, anything to sell books. I don't care about other people.
Sometimes you just crave bat soup. I just want some bat soup, and
Totally. You know what? Absolutely. You just get hungry, a little hankering for some bat.
You've been traveling a lot, though, haven't you?
I have been, probably more than what is recommended.
Oh yeah.
So
Yikes.
when it first kicked off, I was in the Philippines. I was deployed under my alter ego guy who works for a defense contractor.
Yeah, needs money.
Exactly.
Guy,
Yeah, a guy who needs a day job. So I was, I'm not quite Bruce Wayne yet, but I'm working on it. And again, the bat references, man, That's
you're not helping your case, bro.
Two bat references in less than a minute.
Wait, can we go back to who you think you're Bruce Wayne? What part of Bruce Wayne do you think?
Because the alter ego, right? I got my writer identity,
Correct.
And then I have my crime fighting identity.
Okay, so you meant as an analogy,
Yeah.
You're not rich or no kung fu, right?
Right.
Gotcha.
I do drive a Batmobile, but again, another story.
Yeah, well, that's where you start off, obviously.
So I was in the Philippines when this whole thing kicked off, and I was on a U.S. Marine base. Well, I was surrounded by Marines, so I was like, "This is probably
the most disgusting people."
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "This is probably the worst / best place in the world to be when there's an international pandemic." And wouldn't you know it, we start having to come home. So I'm like, I don't know if I actually want to go back to, I don't want to travel, number one, and I don't want to go back to the States, number two, while this whole pandemic thing is happening. So I flew back, generally without incident. I quarantined for 2 weeks, as recommended. Exactly. And then I quarantined as soon as I hit U.S. soil, and then I finally went back to my my place in Florida. And I stayed there for, again, 2 weeks. And then I went up to visit my dad in Pennsylvania. So, and now, finally, I am out in Nevada, in Incline Village, on the north side of Lake Tahoe, in my writer's cabin. So,
I was going to say, this cabin
pictures.
scene behind you looks fucking gorgeous.
Why, thank you. I'm incredibly lucky. It's not all me. I own it with 2 friends. So I just have to say, I am not doing as well as you think I am.
that was what I was going to ask. I was like, do you own that fucking house?
Yeah.
That's the first question I have written down. Do you own that fucking house?
You can ask it. Yes, I do.
It is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, dude, tell me about it, man. And it feels really great because it's really the best place to kind of quarantine, number one. Mm-hmm. And number
Definitely.
two, I didn't bring anything out here. I don't have my PlayStation and stuff like that. So I have to be productive while I'm out here because there's nothing else for me to do.
Exactly.
Forceful
Being
production.
productive how, though? Yeah, being productive how, though? There's different forms of production.
Fair. Yeah. I have been doing some writing while I'm out here. I'm working on book 3.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So I definitely have gotten some writing done, which I'm super excited about since obviously book 2, Awaken the 3, is now in pre-order status and will officially drop on August 11th. So super stoked for that, man. Absolutely. I know you got one of the very few advanced copies Yeah.
I haven't ordered it yet,
So,
but I
that's for
am
sure.
going to.
Well, thank you for the support.
I was on
appreciate it.
Amazon the
Well,
other day,
fucking-
and then I got distracted because I have no attention span for anything. So
Well, speaking of Amazon, fucking, it was on Barnes and Noble like the first day, I believe that you said. But Amazon, it must have taken what, 3 days, 2 days?
Yeah,
2 days,
it did,
something?
man. Jeff Bezos needs to get his shit together. I was like,
bullshit.
come on, dude. What are you buying toupees and shit? Like, you
Yeah.
gotta. I'm a struggling author. I need some help from this dude. So yeah, Barnes and Noble was all over it. They had the day May 11th that it went on pre-order. They were ready with their stuff. It was good to go. But for some reason, so I talked to the publisher, and they actually said the reason that Amazon didn't have it available on May 11th was because we changed the cover from glossy to matte, which I thought looked amazing. And I was like, that looks way better than, the difference between book 1 and book 2. I was like, that looks beautiful. So I guess they had to like update their page with the new matte finish.
Yeah.
So they were like, we're dragging their feet. I was like,
So I guess that makes, I guess it makes a little sense, but not 3 days or whatever
No.
it was late.
No.
That's
I was like,
insane.
listen here, Jeff.
Listen, buddy.
Because I'm a cheap motherfucker, but like I saw it on Barnes and Noble, and I was like, I could have pre-ordered on Barnes and Noble, but I want those Amazon rewards
Attaboy.
points.
You betcha.
So I waited.
Oh, smart man. What a true friend.
Oh, fuck you, Jeff. I'm good. What do I buy with those rewards points, though?
Dude, that's toilet paper, first of all. Yeah.
Yes.
Good luck.
Stock up. I actually bought some through Amazon when I was in Florida.
Really?
I thought I did, actually, and when they showed up, it turned out to be paper towels instead. So
Oh no.
Hey, you still wipe your ass
I have a
with it.
giant box of paper towels like sitting in my hallway in Florida. I was like, what am I going to do with these? I don't have that many spills, honestly.
A lot of cleaning.
Yeah, but they're meant for spills out of your asshole, so you can just. It's not a problem.
That's all right. Fair point.
I've used worse. It may be a little rough, but you've been in the military. You've been like me. You've had worse toilet paper than paper towels.
Yeah, like poison ivy, for example. Just tear or do
Yeah,
not
you
recommend.
can do
0 out of 10.
Oh god.
maple leaves, oak leaves.
Whoops.
Any big, broad coniferous tree. Or deciduous. Coniferous? What the fuck's it? Deciduous.
Deciduous?
I never
Science.
landscaped, but I had a friend who did. And
Yeah.
I swear to God, like you would point at a tree and be like, "What is that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's a blah 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 Douglas fir or whatever." And it's this.
Yeah.
I was like, "Dude, how?" He had an encyclopedic knowledge. Either that, or he was just making it up because he figured.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he figured none of
There's
us
no way
knew.
you can prove him wrong. Like, wow.
I've always
my
wanted to
God,
be able to do that. I took a
Just identify.
I took a
trees.
forestry class once, and I can't fucking remember anything. That would be so cool. I always thought it was so cool. The professor would like walk by, like, "That's a oak, that's a pine." I was like, "God damn!" Wish I
It's
knew
like a
trees like that.
superpower. It's like having a superpower.
Yeah,
Birch. She can get birch. That's an easy
yeah.
one.
I know.
So,
I know a couple.
simple.
I know a couple.
I know. Lauren, on your Tinder profile. I know
I know
a
a
few
couple
trees.
trees.
I know a few trees. You pointed out.
Right.
I know that tree.
I know like
I know some
a.
trees.
I think I know like a red oak and a white oak. Is there a red oak?
You
A
don't
red
have to get into
maple.
specifics.
I
We
don't
believe
know.
you, Lauren.
No. Break it down for us. Let's.
All right, now
Yeah,
listen.
This is
You
good
buy the
content right
leaves.
here. This is good content.
Oh
There's
dear.
maple
All right. Well, we're
and
not here to
oak.
talk about my knowledge of trees at all. So.
Oh my god.
That.
You know what we're here to talk about? We're here to talk about beer.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Finally. Oh, thank God. I have this whole case sitting next to me.
Have you been waiting?
I have been waiting.
Oh,
I
okay.
wanted to do the
Guess
whole like when we first.
You can do that.
Yeah.
I'll let you do that.
Oh, can I do mine first?
Yes.
All right, ready? There we go.
Dave.
Do I
Dave.
get to-
What are you drinking?
Oh man. Well,
Just blows up all over the mic and computer.
so this is from the Incline Cider Company. And when I bought it, this place is in Incline Village. The house that I'm in is in Incline Village, Nevada. And they were selling this at my local beer place. And I was like, "Oh, Incline Cider Company. That's clearly a local place. Awesome. I'll get that. I'll plug them, blah blah blah." And I look it up, and apparently it's based in Washington State, like not at all Nevada. First of all,
You nailed
I
it.
did. Yeah, I was like, you know what? But at this point, it's already too late. I paid for the stuff, but It is a quality craft cider, and they're based out of Washington State. So, Robbie, I talked to you beforehand. I was like, it's a cider. Hopefully that's okay. I know you guys do beers and stuff like that, but I was like, because it's local, that's why I'm going to do it. So I'm an idiot is what I'm trying to say.
We've done a cider episode. You're safe.
Oh my God. That is unlike any cider I've ever had. It's sort of...
Is it flavored at all?
Yes. It tastes like a cider, but it's also... It's sort of like heavier that almost tastes like a dark beer.
Interesting.
So the tagline on here, it says bold, hoppy, balanced, crisp, complex. So hoppy. Hoppy is definitely the word that comes to mind when I taste it. Yeah, that is intriguing. I was not expecting that when I
Aren't there some ciders that are made
I was just going to
with
say,
hops
so there are
infused?
some like hopped ciders. I don't know if we talked about it on that episode, but I think I've had some and they are really good because the flavor that the hop brings to the cider like really just enhances all the aromas of like the apple, I think.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
So this one is made with hops, and it's apple plus Marionberry, which I have never heard of.
I love berries.
Okay.
Oh, Robbie's got it.
Okay. So Rogue Brewing makes a specialty beer called Marionberry Sour.
It's wicked good.
Marionberry is a berry specifically. I thought it was regionally located to only Oregon.
Yeah, we talked about this on one of our berry first episodes.
Long time.
One of your berry first episodes.
One of our berry first episodes.
God, I hate you. No puns. No puns. Lowest form of humor. No. But yeah, Marionberry is like a special. It's kind of like a mix between a blackberry and a blueberry, I believe they said.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been wanting to try something like that.
So a cider made with that sounds fucking bomb.
It is super good.
I've had the Rogue sour, and it's delicious.
Yeah. I can't find it anymore. Lauren, what are you drinking?
Well, Robbie, this week I am drinking a double IPA from Untold Brewing in collaboration with Vitamin C Brewing, as in SEA, not the letter C, called See the Change. Also SEA, not
C. They're so punny. So
yeah,
punny,
see,
so
puns. I love it. Every planet has a story.
The beer world is like the porn world. It's just full of puns.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
This is a double IPA. It's 8% ABV, and it is fucking delicious. I'm actually almost halfway done with it because we've been chatting for a while now. But it's made with a bunch of different hops, but it's piney. It's really piney, and it gives you a bite on your tongue, but it's super fruity. Also, it's very aromatic. It's just delicious, and I love it. What are you drinking this week, Robbie?
Not a bad beer. Oh, thank you for asking. I tried to match our theme. I believe last time we spoke, I don't remember if it was the actual recording we did, or if I think it was the failed recording we did.
the lost
episode.
The lost recording. I drank Dragon's Milk because I wanted to fit our theme of fantasy, right?
Yes.
So this week I am drinking Dragon Vice.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous right now.
From Harpoon.
I fucking love Vice.
It is a dragon fruit and hibiscus Berliner Weiss.
Oh, I want that so
Harpoon
bad.
Brewing.
God,
it is
insanely jealous.
Not bad.
Yeah.
It is not bad. You can definitely taste the hibiscus because hibiscus has that really floral taste that just comes out through everything. It kind of overpowers dragon fruit a lot. Well, that's because
dragon fruit isn't super flavorful to begin with.
We just had one tonight.
I had
bought one and ate it?
I had one for the first time ever when I was here in South Lake Tahoe.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
We bought one at the store because I'd never seen one. I had no idea what a dragon. They're fucking huge. They're absolutely enormous. They look like dragon's eggs, which is I'm guaranteed that's where they got the name from. It was 100%. It was like the size of a beach ball. I could not believe it.
A beach ball.
It was fucking massive.
I've never seen them that big.
Dude, well, all right,
Jesus Christ.
In my brain, it's a lot bigger than...
I went fishing and it was this big.
Right.
You can tell you're a fantasy author.
It was the size of a house.
But we had one actually tonight because we bought one because my girlfriend had never had a dragon fruit. I'm like, oh, you have to have one. They're super refreshing.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of taste, but they're very good. And it's very satisfying to peel away the fruit from the rind.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like a watermelon that you can peel away. Oh, but definitely a good beer. I've never seen this one from Harpoon,
I've never seen that either.
and it was in a variety pack that we picked up, and I was like, wow, that fucking fits our theme. And I didn't even mean to do that, but
Crushed it.
I'm fact checking myself right now, and I think what I had was a jackfruit.
God damn it.
I know. Scrap the
Yeah, jackfruit.
Scrap the episode. We're starting over. Start over.
All right, take two.
Take two.
Robbie,
All
do the
From
intro.
the top.
Oh, I don't want to do it again. Jackfruit is what they use instead of for vegan meats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They use jackfruit instead.
That's exactly it. And that thing was giant. Maybe
Yes, they're huge.
they're absolutely massive. All right, now, maybe the dragon fruit. Maybe I've never seen a dragon fruit before.
Dragon fruit are pink, right? They're pink and they're
Yes.
They're like
Are they
The one we get is pink.
They're like-
pink and tiny and the exact opposite of
big.
everything I've been describing?
they look like dragon
pink
eggs.
reddish. They have like spines.
Yeah, they have-
Like it looks like dragon scales almost.
Oh,
They do look
that's
like dragon
probably
eggs.
why. That makes a lot of sense now.
You cut them open
Not a
and they're
jackfruit.
white. They're white on the inside with little black seeds all over the inside. Like
They're
all over.
super good,
Yeah.
real tasty.
Yeah. Anything that's like
But
passion fruit or not
Not passion
Christ.
fruit.
Dragon fruit.
there you
In a
go.
drink, I always get because it's good.
But it's not a strong flavor.
No, it's
at all.
definitely not a bold flavor.
At all. No, definitely hibiscus. It's almost like, have you ever had rose water?
Oh yeah.
Rose water and Turkish Delight.
Ooh.
The candy Turkish Delights.
I don't know if I've ever
It's
had one.
rose. It's basically like rose.
I remember having Turkish Delight once, and I was so disappointed because I grew up with C.S. Lewis and like the Chronicles, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Where it was oh, Turkish Delight, it's the best thing I've ever had. And I was like, oh, Mom, let's get some fucking Turkish Delight because I was a foul-mouthed 8-year-old. And it was it was not at all what I was imagining.
No.
I think I was in my head. I had imagined it as some sort of like a toffee or something like that. Or just,
That's what I imagine it as too, like a taffy, like a Laffy Taffy type deal. What is it?
Turkish Delight is basically like how do I describe it? It's like a harder Jell-O with a little powder on the outside, like powdered sugar on the outside. And it's rose flavored. Basically,
Is it like
Turkish Delight.
like the fruit jellies, like the fruit slices? That type of jelly.
Not at all.
No,
Jell-O?
not even.
If you-
Those are good.
No.
Those are good. And
Yeah.
I
Well,
really,
I'm trying to figure out like the consistency that you're talking about.
It's
It's like a hard candy,
It's
isn't
like a-
it?
No, it's softer. It's so hard to describe.
I don't
Like,
think
I'm
I
trying to
want
figure out what I
it.
want to compare it to. I want to compare it to Turkish Delight, but I can't compare it to Turkish Delight because that's what you're asking.
I'm Googling it. I'll have the answer for you
Yeah,
in an hour.
I'm gonna order some on Amazon.
in an hour. Order some Turkish Delight. You can find it at any grocery store usually.
Really?
Yeah.
It's an old people candy. You love old people candy.
Listen
Well,
to
then I'll
this.
probably like it.
Its varieties consist largely of chopped dates, pistachios, and hazelnuts or walnuts bound by the gel.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I
that
would
sound
like
just
that.
Yeah, that's like-
unappetizing?
No, that sounds
That's like
good.
Middle
Like,
Eastern.
give me some
Turkish
walnuts,
Delight, yeah.
Mom. I would like some chopped walnuts as a snack because
Oh,
I'm.
You're
this.
describing Lauren's childhood right now with her hippie
I was
parents.
gonna say this snack sounds delicious. I would absolutely eat that.
This is the bitch that carries Werther's Originals. In her
I
house.
have some literally on my table right there. I love Werther's.
You're gonna be the old bitch that gives out boxes of raisins.
No,
at
I would
Halloween.
never do
Oh,
that. I'm not.
oh my
I have a
God.
fucking soul. Okay, I would never hand out raisins. Do not peg me as that person, Robbie.
I like raisins.
If I could, I will be the person handing out full size Reese's. Okay, that's who I want to be.
You're aiming pretty high.
Well, Halloween only comes once a
oh,
year.
look at me! I'm Lauren. I got full size Reese's money. I guess.
Listen,
Oh, that was
don't you
want
to be the house? Don't you want to
that was
go to the
always
house
the
with the full
house.
size Reese's? Yeah.
Yep. And the full
you
size,
knew
like
where the
the
houses
full
were.
size Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not a
What?
Three Musketeers
What?
person, but I
You guys
get
are
it.
doing well. They're the ones with all the decorative pillows on their beds. You just know it, right?
Well, I don't like decorative pillows, but
Nobody
I'd
does.
be
Yeah, 'cause you're
I'd be
not
the
that
house.
person.
I'd be what?
Yeah, because you're not.
You didn't have a bed frame for 5
I
years.
still don't
you are
have
not the
one.
decorative pillow kind of person.
Oh my god, they called. I was supposed to get my fucking bed frame next weekend, and they just called and said that it's not coming till next month. Pissed.
Good, so you're used to it already. You don't need a bed frame.
Well, you're not wrong. It's not like anyone's coming
Who
over.
are you gonna impress? Yeah, exactly.
Just rough it.
But we're not here to talk about Lauren's lack of a bed frame. We're here to talk about Dave's new book, Awaken the 3, book 2 of the High Glade series. That's a very confusing sentence to say because there's 3 in the title of the book, but it's 2 of the High Glade.
I know. I really feel like I dropped the ball in the naming of the,
Yeah,
book
you really
2,
fucked that
Awaken
one
the
up,
3.
dude.
Book 3, Awaken the 2. That's what it's going to be. I'm counting down.
Are you gonna do that?
Book
You have
4
to
is
do
going to
that.
be Awaken the 1, and it's just like,
Yeah.
what is this guy doing? No, and and I thought about that, and I was like, oh, it's a confusing title for a second book, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense in universe, and it's a phrase that was taken directly from book 1. So, I love telling this story. Number one, because the guy who is involved in it, I named a character after him in Awaken the 3. So and number two, he is one of the guys who I own this place with. So like one of my very best friends.
Cool.
His name is Eric Kozikowski. But
Bleep that
yeah,
out. Bleep
yeah.
that out.
But everyone just calls him Koz because Polish, right? Because nobody,
that makes sense, yeah.
And
Nobody likes Polish people.
yeah,
Amen.
Polish last names are just absolutely like nobody can pronounce them correctly, not
Yeah,
even the Polish
exactly.
people. And so Koz, he and I were traveling to Seattle for a wedding, and he was reading a copy of book 1, Gift of the Shaper, and he turns to me and he's like, "Oh man, this sounds really intriguing." And he showed me the sentence, and it was like, the sentence was, "So you seek to awaken the 3, huh?" Or, something like that. And I was working on a draft of book 2, and I turned it to him and I showed him the title of book 2. I was like, "You are not going to believe this, man. You are not going to fucking believe this." And he was like, "Oh, now I am really intrigued." So I took it directly from, one of the lines from book 1, and I made it into the title of book 2, and I'm doing the same for book 3 now.
Taking it from
the second book. And the working title for book 3 is Days of the Dark, which one of my friends said sounds like the title to an AFI song, which I'm totally cool with.
It definitely, absolutely. Are you sure they don't have a song titled that?
Wait, Day of the Dark or
Days of the Dark.
Is it Days with a Z?
It should be Days of the Dark with a Q. Yeah.
And then zombies come out. Like it's always got.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so obviously I'm super stoked about the second book. To me, it's like I think it's better. I think it's better than book 1 because I've grown as an author. I learned a lot of lessons from writing book 1, having it published, going through all that.
You just answered my next question. Was there any
Wow.
lessons learned from doing your first book that you implemented in the second
And
one?
I'm that guy who asks the question during the PowerPoint presentation, like,
Yes.
and the teacher is always like, "I'm getting to that.
Shut the
Shut
fuck
up."
up.
Yeah. I am absolutely that guy. You know what? Since I am a guest on your podcast, I will let you ask me the question. Yeah.
We can answer it?
Yeah, I'll let you answer my
I
question.
learned nothing. There's zombies and naked strippers. There's everything in here.
Honestly,
Wrong
I'd buy
book,
that too.
Robbie.
Yeah. Are there any important lessons learned from doing the first book that you implemented into the second book?
What an astute question. Absolutely, Robbie.
Thank you.
Yeah. I can't believe you came honestly, I can't believe you came up with that.
Someone's got it.
So there were kind of two ways that I really grew as an author. One was as a writer, and the second was as someone who knows how to publicize the book, because those are two very important aspects, and some that I didn't realize. Like, publicity is so important for a book, and it's just like you want to get it out there, you want to get eyes across it, you want to get people talking about it and stuff like that. I had no idea what I was doing when book one came out, and being signed to a small and independent publisher like Indigo River, there weren't a lot of resources at their disposal. They didn't offer me a lot, and I had to do most of the legwork myself. And because of that, I definitely, I wrote everything down, and I try and use all the lessons that I learned to help other authors who are coming up to be like, hey, look, if you're thinking about signing with a smaller independent publisher like this, here's what you need to know, and it's
That's great.
Definitely. And, in terms of, I think of the book as sort of like my child. I don't have kids, so this is like the closest thing that I have to being a father. And
it's your own. It's your thing.
It is. And book two is definitely my favorite child, and I will absolutely tell that to its face.
Go get your books right now. Hold them next to each other.
Don't have kids. Don't have kids.
The worst parent.
You were the practice kid.
Yeah, as the oldest of three, I have, I'm book one. So my younger brother is the middle child, so he was obviously the superior product. So that's why I made him into a horse in book one.
Are you
100%? Yeah.
He did tell us. I think he did tell us
brother.
that.
Yeah, I was
last
gonna say.
episode.
Oh my god! So did you go with the same publisher, Indigo River, for your second book?
I did. Yep.
You did. Was that kind of out of loyalty, or was that more
contractual?
It was a smart decision because they already.
It
was contractual. Okay.
I believe the word you're looking for is contractual.
I did not know that. Okay, that makes
sense. Technically. So the wording in my contract was they have what's called the right of first refusal, which means I come to them with my next novel length book and I say, are you guys interested in publishing this? So there was, believe it or not, actually a chance that they might not have wanted to publish the second book, and it was there was a degree of nervousness that going into it, it was like, I just spent all this time writing a book, and there's a small chance that they might not even publish it. Oh my God, what do I do? But quite frankly, I had a good experience with book one, Gift of the Shaper, and I was so confident that I had learned so many good lessons from its publicity and from the publication of book one that I was like, I can make book two a success. I know what it takes now. And I'm definitely hoping to carry over some of those lessons and, make Awaken the 3, a really good, very successful book.
I was going to say, like, could you have reached out to different publishers if they did refuse? Because do you have some clout behind your name now?
Yeah, which is nice. It's like
as an author, right?
Right. It's the fact that, I'm an award-winning author, which it sounds super cool to say.
It does.
And that was one of the lessons that I learned from book one. It was submit this for awards now. Like and I've just been shotgun blasting everything out. And I just found out I was a finalist. Awaken the 3 is a finalist for the Next Generation Indie Book Awards in the category of fantasy, which is like a huge deal.
That's awesome.
It is a very big deal.
That's crazy.
And I was just like, I didn't even get a second look because I submitted Gift of the Shaper to them. I didn't even get a second look for it, which is crazy because whoever read it and whoever did the reviewing for it, it's the second book in a series. Like, how are you going to start on Order of the Phoenix if you're reading the Harry Potter series, It's like you start with book one, so you have context for book two. But, to me, honestly, that sort of that was huge for me because it was like somebody read this objectively and said, this is good enough to be considered a finalist. It wasn't just like, it was somebody who was looking at it objectively who had no frame of reference for any of the characters, any of the plot line, any of the story. It was like, how well does he write? How well does he write? And to me, that spoke volumes. It was incredible.
Well, but like you said, you improved from your first book, not only as a writer in publishing, but so maybe they noticed that. Maybe they noticed.
I like to think so.
Increase.
I read / listened to you read the first maybe 13 chapters of your first book, right? And then I had a chance to read a few of the first chapters from your second book. So not knowing any of the context of the rest of your first book, just reading the first few chapters, I was worried it was going to ruin a couple things, but it didn't ruin them. It kind of let me know what was coming next. But It also like creates a completely different story for the reader. So like I feel like you don't have to read the first book to understand the second, which is really nice. I really enjoy that about a book in a series.
I intentionally did that. I went into it with the mindset of, if somebody were to pick up this book off the street just randomly, can they read it and still enjoy it without knowing what book one was about? I did that very intentionally for that specific purpose.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And it was like, so when I sent it out for beta readers, I just finished the draft and I'm like, hey, is anybody interested in reading this and giving me feedback? Which, number one, like, I was blown away by the fact that there are people out there who just do that. They're like, they love reading so much. They're like, give me anything.
Something new.
They're it's like people who enjoy Turkish delight. It's like, just give me any, just give me any kind of candy.
Sick fuck.
I don't care.
Do you know how? Is there a certain way that people can get into? Like, if any of our listeners love reading, like, how do people find beta books like that?
That's okay. So. After I finish telling this story,
yes,
I will absolutely. Oh man, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. Oh, and just real quick, I specifically asked for beta readers who had not read book one. So I had
I remember. I think I remember you posting that.
I was specifically asking because I was like, how much does this make sense? Because to me, I have the whole universe, this whole fictional universe in my head.
Right.
Everything makes sense to me because I'm looking at it from the omniscient perspective. It's very hard for me to put myself in someone else's shoes who has no frame of reference, like Donnie from The Big Lebowski, who walks into a movie mid-movie and has a zero frame of reference of any idea of what's going on. So it's very difficult for me to do that. And I specifically was like, I need somebody who just is totally new to this thing to give me feedback. And I did make some changes based on some of the stuff that they said. It was like, hey, this is super confusing, or thank you for this, there's like, I put little blurbs in like, hey, here's who this person is and why they're important. Just reminding you.
Yeah.
Because, and on the other hand, it's sort of like, book one, Gift of the Shaper, came out in 2018. It's been 2 years. So there's a very good chance, like, some people who are reading this, even if they did read book one, might not remember it. It's like,
I've done that with books.
Dude, I do that with Netflix series. It's like, I'm on season 2 and I have no idea who this character is. And it's like, well, that's the Daredevil. It's the show is called Daredevil.
Yeah.
That's the Daredevil. And I'm like, oh, because I'm not very smart. But Lauren, to answer your question, there are plenty of websites out there that offer not just like beta reading opportunities, but will sometimes pay you to do so.
Damn.
Like,
Jeez, there you go.
I know for
I wish I liked reading.
right? Yeah.
I wish I could have.
Yeah.
So
These glasses are just for looks. I don't.
I found this out that there's tons of bloggers who just have blogs and review books. And those people, a lot of them were my best friend for book one because I didn't realize you had to submit books for review before it was published. I was incredibly naive as a brand new author, and I was like, reviews just magically happen. Your publisher is going to send out the book. No, not at all true. You have to contact reviewers and send them copies of your book, and then they consider whether or not they'll review it. So for me, after the fact that it was published, my best avenue was to go through bloggers, people who just reviewed books as a hobby. It's free. All I have to do is send them a copy of my book, and they would read it in exchange for a fair review. I got mostly good ones. There were some like middle of the road, like 3-star, 4-star, or whatever. But The first piece of advice I would offer to your listeners who would like to beta read potentially is start a blog. Put up a website, start reviewing books. Just review books that you enjoy, and then the more you do that, the more people are going to, the more authors like me, small time authors, are going to reach out and look up your website. You'll start showing up in Google results and stuff like that. That's the best way to establish yourself as a beta reader like that.
Cool.
True. And I'm sure the fantasy genre is just flooded with books every day. So for you to stand out in that flood,
yeah, that's awesome.
It's got to be pretty good feeling.
I'll tell you what, man, there is nothing like it. It's really crazy to think about. And it was very nerve-wracking the first time that I submitted the book, number one, for an award, and number two, for a review. You're very exposed. It's like this. Yeah. This is I put so much love and work into this, and I am just throwing it out there, putting it into the world, and in the hopes that somebody might enjoy what I've wrote. And it's definitely a scary, experience.
Makes you very vulnerable.
Absolutely, you're extremely vulnerable. Yeah, and the first, I got a 5-star review from the San Francisco Book Review, and that, I was over the moon when that happened. I was
awesome.
Oh my God. They, I had there's a 5-star sticker that they gave. I slapped that thing on the very first book that I could. I was like, oh my God, this feels so cool.
Might as well say Oprah.
Fuck yeah. Better than Oprah. Well, I don't know about that.
I was like, that means somebody else other than my mom thinks this is a good book, which is, very, very good feeling.
So I was going to say, how, I don't need to know exact numbers, obviously, but how did the first book do in terms of sales? Because if I wrote a book and I sold more than 10 copies to people who, weren't friends and family, I'd be over the goddamn moon.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody read shit that I put out.
It definitely, I made more sales than I have friends on Facebook. I'll say that. Yeah.
Excellent. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, which was super cool. So that's all I was looking for.
I mean, look at the house he's in, people. It's a mansion, basically a mansion. There's a pool. There's a girl in the background serving drinks. It's insane. You should be writers. That's all I'm saying. Be writers.
Another one. Give me a martini. Martini.
Yeah.
It is so hard to get good help around
Is she
here.
giving you a blowjob?
All right. Keep it below the camera, please.
Oh wait, he has a girlfriend. You have a girlfriend.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Oh, whoops.
She's gonna hate me. No, that's her. That's her.
Yeah, that's her. She came home. Oh no.
What have we done? Thanks a lot, Dave Grohl.
I don't say that again because it's gonna go to my head.
Robbie, I swear to God, you do look like Dave Grohl, dude. You got the same the goatee. You need to grow your hair out and play drums for Nirvana.
And then my lead singer can shoot himself in the head with a
shotgun.
All right. Well, that was okay. Does anyone need a beer?
I'm on my last quarter of this.
I'm
good.
I am on the decline of this incline.
On the downslope. That's how we like to keep it here on the Brew Interviews. Let's take a beer break because we haven't taken one of those in about 700 episodes. So
yeah, because we're alcoholics and we have to kind of minimize how much we drink during a 40-minute time.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But this is a special episode,
so we're gonna go over. Let's go get some beers, guys.
All
right. Beer break.
Let's take a beer break.
I like it.
While Robbie and Lauren are getting a new beer, let's take this time to remind all you out there that you can follow us on all our social media platforms, such as on Instagram @TheBrewInterviews or Twitter @BrewInterviews. And if you have any questions or suggestions for the show, contact them at thebrewinterviews@gmail.com. Now, back to the show.
And we are back from our beer break with some brand new beers, hopefully. Dave, what are you drinking now?
Oh, let me tell you, Robbie. Oh, great. I got beer just all over my mic and my...
well, that was a nice
laptop.
Pop right there.
That was a real good
nice
pop.
snap.
That was a potentially damaging pop. But this one is a campfire stout from High Water Brewing. And I picked it because I am in a cabin in the woods. So I was like, it's got a picture of a bear on the front. and he's like toasting marshmallows, and I was like, I want to be that bear. I need to be that bear.
Robbie, you've had this beer before, right?
I have, and I told him to drink it next.
Yeah.
He said he had it, and I got very excited.
Got very excited. Oh my God, all day.
Very
All
excited.
day.
The same
All right.
pun, but
Well, that just about
different.
wraps it up for
I
this
love
episode. Pun-ass bullshit.
So
Is your book just full of puns?
that's all it is. Yeah, I mean, the title Awaken the 3, and it's book 2, so I'm not a very smart person. So it's the lowest form of humor. I have a very narrow I guess a narrow palate for beer. And I like a very select few beers. And Hefeweizen is like my favorite. I will 10 times out of 10 drink a Hef if it's offered to me. So I like that sort of wit beer, white beer. And stouts are another beer that I definitely tend to enjoy. So I'm kind of excited about this one. Let's see. It's a stout brewed with graham crackers and molasses with natural flavor added. I also very much enjoy graham crackers. That's like one of the toppings that I will choose at Cold Stone when I go to get ice cream because I'm a fat kid at heart. 100%.
Now wait, do you like the cinnamon graham crackers?
I will eat cinnamon graham crackers in a cereal if it was given to me. Yes.
Oh.
I definitely, yeah. I would do that. I would absolutely eat
All
those.
right,
Are you a
right.
Teddy Graham?
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
person?
dude.
Yeah,
I love Teddy Grahams. Come on. I'm drinking a beer with a bear on the front of it. Of course I love Teddy Grahams.
So this beer is definitely a people pleaser. I feel like it kind of hits to like a mass audience in terms of a stout, like an enjoyable stout.
Oh my God. It's like drinking chocolate.
Oh my God, I want it so bad.
That is like drinking dark chocolate. It's so good. Oh my God.
delicious.
Robbie. Holy shit. I brought 2 of them up here and I'm super happy. I'm going to drink both of them right now.
I used to buy because they come in the big. They're not 40 ounces.
The 750, the 750 milliliter, right?
750 milliliters.
Yeah.
I don't think that.
Isn't
not
that the size
that's,
of it?
That's liquor.
700. Yeah. 750 milliliters.
that's
is
liquor.
massive.
I don't think that's.
That is absolutely gigantic.
Oh.
No. I forgot what the amount of ounces is, but yeah, I used
32
to, 'cause I was
ounces.
in California all the time.
This
Sure.
This tastes exactly like drinking chocolate. This is amazing. I love this beer.
You love it? Yeah, there you go. I used to buy it all the time. I used to buy like multiples at a time in the big.
Oh my
bottles.
God! And the front of it says "leaves you wanting some more."
Oh, more puns.
Oh, it's
ya.
a pun all day, man. I'm telling you, the theme of this podcast is puns.
We fucking
It
love
is no
puns.
longer beer based. It's
I'll try to work it.
It's
I'll try to work
pun-based.
it in the title somewhere.
I approve.
Oh man. All right, Lauren, what do you got?
Well, I actually also went with the stout. So I am drinking PM Dawn, which is an American stout with cold brew coffee from Trillium Brewing.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, this is a 9% beer, but it's delicious. It's not as delicious as what Dave is describing, but
No.
They're pretty close. They're both amazing.
yeah,
I love.
I like PM Dawn because it's made with cold brew coffee. It has that like bitterness of coffee in it, but it really does have a nice balance of like that sweetness for like that a stout should have. I really like this beer, so yeah.
It's like the perfect like end of the night.
Yeah, PM.
beer.
Yeah,
it's weird because it's got coffee, but it's just perfect.
How
yeah,
much-
it'll
how much
keep me
coffee,
awake for
though?
this
Enjoyable.
for I don't know.
I'd be curious about
It-
that.
enough where you can taste it.
Yeah,
Enough
you
where
you
can taste
absolutely know that there's cold brew coffee in this by tasting
Is there a
it.
difference between
Yeah.
coffee flavored and actually like caffeinated like beverages? I'm guessing. You know, or does it say
I'm
like
sure.
there has to be a caffeine warning or something for like pregnant moms? Oh wait.
Well, it's alcohol, so
Hey, pregnant mom's drinking this beer. There's caffeine in
Drink
here.
up.
Well, I people do have like heart conditions where they can't have caffeine, and they should have like there's no caffeine warning on this. But I feel like if you were somebody who has
You
like
know, for pregnant moms.
You know, for pregnant moms.
man.
They love this stuff.
they love alcohol.
according to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages
go.
during pregnancy for risk of birth defects. Yes, it does have a warning label on here. Just not for
love
caffeine.
We've thought of everything. That is so great.
good.
Yeah, because somebody's getting sued. They're like, well, they didn't tell me that my kid was going to be born with 6 arms. Nobody told me.
You absolutely know that there's a court case about this out there somewhere. You absolutely know that exists.
Guaranteed.
Because America.
I can't get over how much this tastes like actual dark chocolate. This does not taste like I'm drinking a beer. It's like someone melted a Nestle dark chocolate bar and poured it into my mouth. It's so good. I was not expecting a stout to taste this good. Like, I've had some stouts. I definitely, one or two stouts. Let's just one or two.
This is the
I
second
am blown away. This is number 2. This is stout. This is stout number 3. Awaken the 2 for my book number 3. Yeah. I am blown away. I can't get over how much this tastes like just chocolate. It's crazy. I love this. This is my new favorite beer.
Incredibly good one.
Does anyone know if that's available here? Is that available? Can we get that, Robbie?
Was it High Water? I don't think High Water is available because it's a California brewery.
Oh Jesus!
So Mr. Jennings, do you wanna ship some over? You wanna just chuck it, like put it in a bottle and throw it in the ocean and just.
Listen,
I've
seen Smokey and the Bandit. I know how bootlegging works, okay? I am Burt Reynolds in this case. I will Burt Reynolds some right over to you. I've even...
Lauren has no idea.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh my God, watch Smokey and the Bandit. Movies. I'm assigning you homework.
What's it about?
Up and truck it.
It's about Burt Reynolds.
I don't know who that is.
Okay.
Oh my God! Did you just say you don't know who Burt Reynolds is? That's my Archer impression, by the way. Because totally.
Yeah.
Do you want ants? This is how you get ants, Cyril. Oh my God!
It's not bad.
That was good. I've only seen it once or twice, but I know the voice.
There's one. Wait, here. This is my Archer impression. This is the line that I do. All right. They're only hookers when they're dead, Cyril. That's the line that I can do.
Is that the name of the episode?
That's the one where he's got the poiso cane. He's like, poiso cane. And I think that might be the one where Burt Reynolds is in it. I know, but long story short, Burt Reynolds guest starred in Archer, which is how my ADD brain works, and that's how I linked that whole thing together. But Smokey and the Bandit is a phenomenal movie from the 1970s.
Either late 70s, early 80s.
1977.
Hot damn.
Yeah, I had to Google Burt Reynolds to see who. I know who he is now by seeing his face.
That was the year my mom enlisted. So 77 was a good year. Got a picture in my wallet.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a phenomenal movie about bootlegging, and which is like
Coors Light. Bootlegging Coors
Shut
Light.
up.
Why would you do that?
That's amazing.
We should review this movie for the podcast, Robbie.
Well, Lord, before I can't remember. I don't remember what year it was in the 80s, but before then, you couldn't get Coors Light east of the Mississippi. So the whole movie is about him bootlegging Coors Light across the east of the Mississippi.
It's fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, great.
This sounds like a great movie. I want to see it.
It is.
I'm more of a Cannonball Run kind of guy, but
what was that? I always get that confused with the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. What is it like? The Running Man.
Yeah. Two totally different movies, but yeah.
In my head, they're the exact same movie.
Cannonball Run is Burt Reynolds, and they have like the big race with a bunch of different cars and drivers, and they have to drive across the U.S.
Sounds like Rat Race or something.
It's like Rat Race, but Cannonball Run.
Oh, okay.
Just a different area.
It's amazing.
All right. Is that worth watching?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. If you're a Burt Reynolds fan.
I am clearly a
Burt Reynolds
fan.
Dom DeLuise, Farrah Fawcett.
Oh, I love Farrah Fawcett.
All right. I'm watching that tonight, immediately after I hang up with you guys.
Yeah, perfect.
Robbie, do you want to tell us what you're drinking?
You forgot what you were drinking, or you forgot to intro it?
I forgot that.
Both.
Yeah. I am drinking another Berliner Weiss, actually.
Oh my God, I love that beer.
This is This is from Stoneface Brewing in New Hampshire. This is their Berliner Weiss with blackberry.
Oh,
Ooh.
It is 3.7% alcohol.
3.7. Oh, yeah. Did you guys hear how much this one is? This is a 6.5.
Yeah, that's
My
low.
yeah.
Mine is.
Yeah, that
is it
is low
really?
for a stout.
I didn't realize that.
Very low.
Well, like I said,
I feel like
I've,
stouts
I've
are
only
usually
had
between
two
like
stouts
7
before.
and like 12.
That makes
What's PM Dawn 9?
9.
The one you're drinking, Lauren?
Yeah.
So it kind of most of the time it's like 8+ for a stout.
Yeah.
Good God.
It depends on. It's because they're sweet. They have a lot of sugar in them, so it converts to alcohol.
But that's why I said that's more of for the masses. It's the one you have, Dave. It's very crowd appealing. It's simple. It's very, very
I am
good.
a sheep. Yep.
You're goddamn sheeple.
Wake up.
Oh my god!
Wake up, sheeple.
5G causes
Oh,
COVID.
no. You caused COVID.
Yeah, I forgot. My alter ego is 5G. That's what I call myself.
And
That's what I refer to myself.
That's a good
Yeah,
handle.
you know. Look me up. Just Google me. It's called 5G.
Google DL Jennings 5G COVID. You'll find his new book.
I hope
coming
this
out
trends.
in August.
Yeah, I hope this trends. We're gonna
push. We're gonna push
that's
it.
the hashtag DL Jennings 5G cause COVID.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Hashtag Awakens 3. Hashtag Book 2 in the High Glade series. Hashtag
It's
confused. We're all about the hashtags.
We're all about the
Brew
hashtag
interviews.
here on the Brew Interviews.
All about the hashtags. So I gotta ask, because you use the same publisher, obviously, because contractually obligated. Was there more of an expectation for the second book? Them just assuming that, hey, he won these awards or this award with the first book. He's gonna do the same. Our name is gonna get out there again as Indigo River.
Yep.
Correct? All right, we're gonna get out there again.
That was definitely one of the things they considered, and it was one of the things that went into whether or not they were going to accept the offer to publish book 2. And frankly, for them, what matters is number one is sales, and number two, it's like
Numbers.
are we going to get our name out there? Is this thing going to do well? And I'm definitely happy to say, for book 1, for Gift of the Shaper, it didn't come out in hardcover for nearly a year, and that was because basically it was like hardcovers are more expensive to produce. It's just not worth it sometimes for especially a small publisher to make a hardcover version of the book. It's like, well, this thing has to do pretty well in order for us to even make any money off it, because at the end of the day, what is the publisher in it for? They're in it to make money. Yeah. So I was extremely happy when they decided, hey, we think that a hardcover version of this book is in order, which was super exciting for me, because I think for me, when I held the hardcover version in my hands, it was more rewarding than when I held the first version of the book in my hands. Yeah, because it was like this. It was beautiful. It looked gorgeous, and I was like, "This is a book." For me, it was like I grew up with, hardcover versions of everything. Those are the books that last. Paperback versions. It's like something that you buy on one of those rotating shelves in airports. It's like I'm going to spend my $4.99 on this Nora Jones or Nora, I don't remember. Nora Roberts.
Nora, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Nora Roberts.
One of these Nora Roberts. Yeah. Nora Jones is a jazz
authors.
singer. Yeah. I don't think she writes. She probably doesn't.
Yeah, Nora Jones.
Yes, she is.
It's like I'm going to spend my $4.99 and then walk away and probably throw this thing in the trash when I'm done with it. That's what a paperback is. It's just like it's something you read and you're done with it and move on to the next thing. But a hardcover book, it's like that will endure. It's like it's bound, it's beautiful. It's like that to me is a book, and I was so proud the day that I got that first hardcover copy in my hands, and it was just like I am an author now. I've reached the pinnacle, and it's all downhill.
It kind of means they believe in you, especially for an indie publisher. It's like, hey, we believe in you enough to, hey, we're gonna make these fucking hardcovers. Because I think as a diehard fan of something, you want that hardcover.
100%.
As a reader, I love a soft cover only because I can flex it. If I drop it, I don't give a fuck. It's not a big deal. But I would buy the hardcover and I would just display it. Like, it would be there. Like, that's my good copy.
Yep.
That's the signed copy.
I bought your book as a gift for Christmas for somebody that I thought would enjoy it. And I bought them the hardcover because it's fucking snazzy, dude. It looks real nice. It came in, I was like, oh, this is high quality. Because I have a paperback because I don't think hardcover was available when I bought it.
Yep.
But
no.
But even as giving a gift, like I want to give, I would rather give a hardcover copy of a book than a softcover. So and both are nice. Like don't try and downplay like the softcover version of your book because it is still a really good quality book. It's not one of those floozy things you pick up off a stand in the airport.
Those floozies.
Yeah,
those floozies.
it's not. It's not a floozy book. It's a good quality softcover book.
A good horror book.
Now I will say this: when I got the proof copy of Awaken the 3, it's beautiful. They did a amazing, astoundingly good job, because I don't know if you guys saw the post that I made, but they incorporated the map onto the entire book. So it is superimposed, like very
oh, cool.
like the like opaque, I think is the right word. It's
like a watermark.
If you know that slider on Adobe Photoshop where you take it and it's like the opacity and you take it all down to like 10 so you can barely see it. That's what they did with the map. That is so imagine a book, and you open the book and you are looking at both the back cover and the front cover. The map spans the entirety of that, and it's it's very subtle. And I didn't even realize it the first time that I looked at it. I was like, there's some weird little lines in the background. Oh my God, that's my map! And I fucking lost my mind because it looks
awesome. So
beautiful. I was genuinely impressed with it. They did such a great job on the design of the cover, and and I will say that about Indigo River, they're very good with working with me. You know, as a smaller publisher, they're working with you individually and like giving you feedback, and
they can actually talk to you, concentrate 100%, on you, as opposed to something huge.
There was a design team who was behind it and who says, all right, we're going to take this art. What do you think of this, cover design? And it's funny. I was just about 4 hours ago, I did an IG live interview with my cover artist, who has a podcast of his own, and so we got to talking about, he was the one who it's a crazy fucking story that I don't know if we'd want to go into. It's kind of funny, but we're childhood friends. We went to 8th grade together, and we reunited 2 years ago at a random fucking chance at a bar in Hudson, Ohio. Absolutely bizarre. Absolutely, yep. I'm telling you.
You all know Hudson, Ohio.
Absolutely
it's
bizarre
my
story.
Favorite place to
If
go
we
to
have time, I will
bars.
go into it. It's a weird fucking story, man. But anyways, he was my cover artist, and he did such an incredible job with taking my vision for the cover and turning it into what is now the cover of Awaken the 3, and I was just absolutely floored.
I like the new cover.
Yeah, your new cover looks great.
Thank you. And I mean that sincerely, because I am not a visual person. I have zero artistic talent in me. Like, I can't draw. I can barely play hangman because I can't draw like the stick figures for that. I am just incapacitated when it comes to drawing, and it's pathetic. So Ryan Gomerak is the cover artist, and he did such a great job. Again, it was actually from a specific passage in the book that describes a painting. So he visually represented a painting that was described in the book. That so the cover of Awaken the 3 is the 3 refers to 3 gods. They're called the Traveler, the Holder of the Dead, and the Ghost of the Morning. And those 3 gods are all represented on the cover by a traveler, if you can imagine, like the sort of like a Mad Max kind of desert wanderer. He's depicted in the very middle, this guy in a desert landscape in like post-apocalyptic robes. the holder of the dead is represented by a skull in the foreground, and then in the background is the ghost of the morning, also called the mother of wolves, and I kind of go into that in the book, and she's represented as this black feral wolf with like red eyes, and Ryan took that the passage from the book and brought it to life and made it into the cover that you see. And I was just absolutely floored the first time I saw it. I was like, "Oh my God, this looks so cool." This is super impressive.
I liked the first cover.
Yeah, I do
too.
too.
The second one, I was like, "That's where it's at."
Yeah.
'Cause I remember you posted a I don't know if it was a poll, but it was just like what do you like better for your?
I voted
for your
on
cover
that.
of your book, and I think everybody kind of unanimously, at least that
They
I
did.
saw, picked the one that
Yeah.
you
Did, and I was so happy too, because I secretly liked that one better. I was like, which one do you guys like more? Every single person was like, this one, this one here. I was like, oh, thank God.
It was a clear choice.
Yeah,
it was a clear choice.
And it was really interesting too, because one of the things was, and Ryan gave me early sketches of what was to be the cover, and in one version of it, he had the traveler facing me, so you could see his face and you could see his eyes. Mm-hmm. And in the version that I have, the traveler was facing away, almost like he was walking, like he was on some sort of a journey. And
like he was traveling?
Like he was traveling, you know? And
wow.
And everybody was like, I like the one where he's facing away. I like that one more. Because it adds that element of mystery. It's like...
I was just going to say that.
You can't see this person's face clearly defined. You know, who is this guy? What is this mysterious stranger? Where is he walking? Why is he in a desert? Is that wolf going to eat him? Yes, is the answer to all those questions.
I think that's a big part of the books is like certain, like I read the Night Angel trilogy. I think you've read it before, Brent Weeks. You don't know what those characters look like in your head.
No clue.
In a way, you don't want to know what those characters look like unless they're made into like a movie and all that kind of shit, and then it's like unfortunate. But you want to imagine those characters how you want to imagine.
I was
them.
just gonna say that same thing. Yeah,
you can't see him, so like I want to. Maybe he looks like Dave.
Yeah.
Maybe he looks like me. Maybe I'm that guy.
Maybe he looks like Dave
away,
Grohl.
But maybe
it's Dave Grohl.
Maybe it's Dave Grohl. Maybe it's the guy from Nirvana.
Is that? We talked about that before I think we started recording, is that as soon as you came on screen, I was like, oh my God, Robbie looks like Dave fucking Grohl, and it's crazy.
Because it's the first time I've been allowed to grow out my facial hair in 7.5 years, something like that.
That DD214 goodness?
God.
Love it, right? Dude, and I'm telling you, as a friend and somebody who's dating a woman, you look great with that goatee.
I tell him he looks handsome all the time.
My woman hates it.
Does she?
And I just keep twirling it out.
Dude,
even further.
Every time I get on the, every time I video chat him, I'm like,
hard.
Robbie, you look so handsome.
Did you see the picture of me when I trimmed my beard back in, I want to say it was like 3 or 4 months ago or something.
I was gonna say you were in the Philippines still, right?
Yeah. So I was getting sick and tired of because I look like a homeless person when my beard grows out.
It did.
Too big.
I was gonna say you look like a homeless person.
Thank you.
It's called military.
It's what I was going for. And I was like, oh man. And like we Jennings men, we just have like my eyebrows are fucking enormous, and we just grow thick facial hair, and that's all we're good at. And I was just like, it was getting out of control. So I was like, what is the funniest thing that I could possibly do? And I took inspiration from Val Kilmer in Tombstone, and I shaved my beard except for the mustache and the soul patch. And I looked like one of the Three Musketeers at the end of the day, and it was absolutely hilarious.
That's the best part, is you can just do whatever the fuck you want now.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And then I grew that out, so my mustache was all twirly and stupid. It was great.
I want Robbie to do that so bad. I want him to twirl up the ends into like little curls. I want it so bad. Please, any listeners out there that support this, please email us, because I'm pretty sure we could get him to do it.
On like long weekends, in the military, I used to shave. I wouldn't shave because it would be forever before I could grow a mustache again. And then one time we had like a long weekend or a vacation or something, and had to grow a mustache, and I shaved part of it, and because I'm 13 years old, I shaved it into a Hitler stash.
Of course you did. Of
'Cause I thought
fucking
it was
course you
funny.
did.
So I shaved into a Hitler stash, and I was like, "Yeah, that's funny, Hitler." And I got a phone call. I think it was from like my parents, and I was like, I was just talking to my parents, whatever, for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and I forgot that I had shaved my mustache into a Hitler mustache.
Oh no!
And I was like, oh, I got to go check my mail. So this is on a military base. I walked all the way to the post office in a Hitler mustache. Nobody said a word.
Probably because they feared for their
And
life.
I know, but I didn't realize it until like hours later when I had to go to the bathroom, and I walked into my bathroom and I was like, oh,
That
shit.
seems like a very,
no.
very Curb Your Enthusiasm kind of thing. Like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Whoops.
I got so fucking lucky. Dave's been on military bases. He knows.
Yeah.
Somebody could have had a bad day and just fucking went off on me, but I got really lucky.
Really, because you
Oh,
have
no.
dark facial hair too. It is obvious.
He has very dark facial hair.
Yeah, it's like
working on it on
staring
the
into
sides.
the abyss right now. Honestly, I can barely
really-
do.
It's almost like Ron Swanson status. His mustache, like it's
He saw it when I was deployed.
yeah,
It
it's
was
fucking. You have a beautiful mustache, Robbie.
You definitely-
a beautiful mustache.
I outranked you, but you intimidated me. Like I was taking orders from you
With
with
the
the mustache. Yeah, that thing it automatically gains you 2 stripes.
There you go. That's all I'm talking about. As a homeless veteran, then it's like,
He's living in a tent
we
in
look
the
homeless.
backyard.
Let's be
Don't
honest,
worry
Dave. We
about
look
it.
homeless.
I know, man. I got my COVID beard going, and like I haven't had a haircut in.
The swoop.
Dude,
I gave
I
myself
don't
a
have any
haircut.
product in my house, but I
I
got
couldn't
the
take it anymore. I borrowed my friend's clippers and just like fucking.
I
went
love
around.
it. Yeah, Lauren is the woman, has the shortest hair of all 3 of us.
Yeah,
I absolutely do.
I'm going for that sort of like Joe Monta. What's his last name? Like Montegelio or something. The dude who played Alcide in True Blood.
You think I
All
watched
of your
True Blood?
female listeners will know exactly who I'm talking about. He's got
Do
that.
we have any female listeners?
Oh, okay. all 3 of your female listeners are gonna know who I. But he's like this super nerdy guy. Like he plays Dungeons and Dragons and everything. But he's got like he does not at all look like your typical nerd. He's like is super jacked, long flowing black hair, great beard. Like that's the dude I'm trying to look like. I'm like your Walmart version of Joe Monta. Fucking,
Generic brand?
Yeah, I'm your Target brand Joe. Joe Mon.
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana. That's the first Monteneglia. Yeah, that's what comes up in my Google suggestions.
Oh,
Joe Manganiello. Thank you.
Joe
There
Manganiello.
it
Thank
is.
I didn't know he was in True Blood. He's married to Sofia Vergara.
Of course
from
he
Modern
is.
Family.
Oh, okay. All right.
Of course he is.
He's really cool. He's
yeah.
funny.
See, that's who I'm trying to be like.
Oh, okay, like Joe Manganiello from no, what's the stripper movie?
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike.
I like how
Stripper
on top
movie.
of that I was.
I know that one.
I like how
know
you
that
went
one.
right to the male stripper movie.
Oh, yeah, let me show you the poster I have on my wall. My Magic Mike poster.
Dave, woo. Dave and I know that one. That's all that matters. Speaking of nerds, you invited me to a Facebook group called Drinking Bros and Nerds. Is that what it's called?
Drinking Bros Nerds. I'm so glad you mentioned that
Okay.
because I'm going to tag you in this later.
Oh, excellent. Man, I wasn't ready for the amount of nerddom.
No.
Like I like certain nerdy aspects, but then I get things that pop in my feed all the time. It's like, oh, what anime is this? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't watch anime. Like this is too much for me, man.
So that was this is my criteria and why I thought, and I'm believe it or not selective about who I invite to the group, and it is a closed group. You had to answer some questions,
Appreciate it.
and I was like,
Yeah, I did.
yeah, you did, yeah, because there's the overwhelming majority of people in the group are veterans. So by
really?
default, everyone loves to drink, and I was like, who enjoys drinking? Oh, let me see, Robbie. And number 2, the aspect it was like, you have to enjoy nerdery. And I was like, well, Robbie read my book and he liked it. So that automatically qualifies him as a nerd. You're a nerd. So I'm sorry. You're Gonna have to accept it.
I collect retro video games and figures and a bunch of other stuff.
He's definitely
If you haven't come out to your parents already, you probably should. Yeah, and I was
they knew before he did.
Yeah, 12, 13 years old, they knew. And it was like, I think this would be the perfect group for them, because every Friday we do a shot train, and it's like, the see a chug, send a chug kind of thing.
Really? I haven't seen that
well,
yet.
probably because no one likes you.
Oh,
I'm new.
I'll tag you in one tonight because it goes all weekend.
Oh damn! Okay.
I know it's
fun.
brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Yeah, Lauren, if you want in, I know a guy.
She's not nerdy.
I'm not nerdy enough. I don't watch
It's
things
all right.
or know anything.
You don't actually have to be a nerd. You just have to. I mean, the name of the group is Drinkin' Bros. So
I can drink, and
can
I'm a
all
bro.
right.
It's mostly
you're qualified.
nerds. It's mostly
it does
nerds.
say nerds. It does say nerds.
Oh man.
Yeah, it is overwhelmingly a lot of D&D, but there's also a lot of hey, I just bought this new computer. What's the best, something for gaming?
Oh,
What's the
cool.
best
All
this
right,
for
all
that?
right.
Hey, I bought this electronic. How do I set it up? That I like that aspect.
Yeah,
of it where you
that's
can actually
what
ask
I
for
would
help
like
from
too.
people.
Yeah, so I'll definitely I'll plug the brew interviews later tonight
be
after we're
excellent.
done.
Yes.
So first of all, you're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, once
Appreciate
you get
you.
the because I'm a respected member of the community, believe it or not. Somehow,
You're head nerd? You're
I'm
head
one of the.
nerd?
I'm friends
Wow.
with the admins and stuff like that. So it's crazy. I don't understand it at all.
He knows a guy, Robbie. He
I know
knows
a guy. I know a guy. I'll get you in.
I wish I knew a guy.
All right, now I have a question about your book. So
Wait, no, we're not talking about books anymore.
okay. Well, we can just skip it then. Never mind.
You could ask.
All right. So
All right,
in writing
fine.
this new book, what was your favorite new character to develop?
My first answer is a spoiler, so I'm not going to answer that one.
Damn it.
I know.
I mean, but thank you.
That is a wonderful question. Okay. My second answer is going to be a character that I had a lot of fun with in book 2, who was a relatively minor character in book 1. His name is Kunis, and by the way, Mila Kunis. I was inspired by her last name. I changed the spelling of it. It's Kunas, so I don't get sued. Kunas. Yeah. So Kunis is a master Kith out of a city called Galtharai, and he was an extremely minor character in book 1. I think I mentioned him maybe once. He is the first character who is mentioned in the book because he is in the prologue. I was
going to say that the name of that character sounds familiar to me.
He's in the prologue. He's the very first character who is mentioned in the entire book. And I had a very good time with him because, believe it or not, he's one of the bad guys. He's not one of the good guys.
Yeah.
Which was, I got there's two sides of the fence on this from feedback that I got from reviews. It's like, number one, why are we seeing things from the bad guy's perspective? And number two, hey, it was really refreshing to see things from the bad guy's perspective. So there were definitely
Star Wars.
There were definitely two camps. And I sort of think like I drew a lot from Game of Thrones also. I put the epic in epic fantasy. There's 1,000 fucking characters in my book. And I actually was reading about Robert Jordan, the great fantasy author who inspired me to be a writer, who came out with the Wheel of Time series. There is literally something like over 1,000, over like 5,000 named unique characters in his entire series, which spans
Holy shit.
It spans 12 books to be fair, but I was not afraid to have a large cast of characters. So Kunis, a minor character in Gift of the Shaper, is one of the major characters in Awaken the Three. And I did have a lot of fun writing him because he's duplicitous. He's he's a sort of a backstabbing kind of guy. He's scheming and showing his sort of mentality in what he presents on the surface and what he is actually thinking below the surface, and sort of manipulation that is involved in him was so much fun to write. And it was just absolutely like, I love doing stuff like that where I present the reader with something and then I will take them in a twist the other way. And it's like, well, here's exactly what it's going to happen. He's going to burn this place to the fucking ground and you're not even going to see it come.
Bad guys are always
I love that.
more fun, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watch a lot, I used to watch a lot of wrestling, like professional wrestling. And I watch a lot of interviews with old wrestlers and they always ask them the same question. Hey, was it better to be a bad guy or a good guy in wrestling? And they go, bad guy. It's always better to be a bad guy. There's so much more that you can add to something. You can do whatever you want, and nobody gives a fuck because you're a fucking bad guy.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that's the same way in the writing world. Who gives a shit what the bad guy does? You have to kind of stick to a code of morality sometimes, I guess, with the good guy.
Oh, yeah, with the good
bad guy.
And it's really interesting because I do enjoy writing bad guys. And I was talking to my cover artist, like I said earlier, Ryan, and he had called me up beforehand and we had sort of had a little chat, and he said, I hated you for how you made me feel about this guy Godger Roos, who was again relatively minor character in Gift of the Shaper. He was like, I absolutely despised you for writing this character and for the things that he did, and I knew that was why I was a successful writer. And he was like, that's how I know you were a good writer, because you made me hate this character. I despised him. And for me, it was very hard to write that, because I was like, he is doing this god-awful, despicable shit. But that's what makes a good villain. You have to hate the villain. You cannot sympathize all the time with the villain. Yeah. You have to be like, this guy, Prince Joffrey.
You got to give the people someone that they love to hate.
Prince Joffrey from Game of Thrones is almost universally touted as the perfect villain, because fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. He's terrible. And even the guy who played him did such a fantastic job that people, some people who can't separate reality from fiction are like, you were a terrible person, as opposed to like, you're a wonderful actor who played this terrible person. And that's how you know you have written a good character, is when people hate it.
That's a lot of parallels into professional wrestling, because they say you want the audience to hate you so much that they almost want to hate you. They want to hate you. They want to cheer to hate you. Like, you've done so many bad things. So it's kind of funny how it draws a lot of parallels like that to writing.
Definitely.
But I guess it's kind of the same thing. Wrestling's like writing a drama, so it's also like writing.
It is.
Do you think of it as like a fun, creative process to write about those like evil kind of characters, or is it kind of like a more of a like therapeutic process to write about them?
It is an exercise in creativity for me, 100%. I based the character of Thornton after myself, the protagonist of Gift of the Shaper.
Right.
Thornton is me, basically, like with a better beard and well, not, in book 2 he's got a beard. Spoilers.
I was going to say,
Spoilers,
I always thought of him
sorry.
as baby-faced.
He is.
Bigger beard, bigger dick.
He is. Everything I'm not, Thornton is.
Yeah.
And I even voice him as myself in the audiobook version. Thornton is me for all intents and purposes. So I had to really flex my writing muscles when I came when I wrote these evil characters. It was like, oh, what's the worst thing I could do here? Oh, what's going to make people real mad? I have to get people, that's part of, writing a really good antagonist, is you have to have an antagonist who's worthy of the protagonist, who drives that protagonist to, on that hero's journey to become a better version of himself, to overcome that hurdle, because the protagonist is such an evil piece of shit, right? So, it's really funny because I got a really close friend of mine, buddy Gene, who was reading the book recently, and he's like, how come Thornton is always losing these fights? Early on in the book, in Gift of the Shaper, Thornton he goes up against these, overwhelming odds, and he gets his ass kicked, and it was, my answer to Gene is always character development.
I was gonna say character.
It's exactly what it is, and obviously you're cut out to be an author, because you don't want to have.
I tell him this all the time.
Look at me, writing porn.
You don't want to have. You don't want to have Peter Parker, best Dr. Octopus in episode 1.
First book, like,
you're not going to have a book after that. You're not going to have a comic series. You want somebody who is going to grow, who's going to learn from these experiences, who's frankly going to get his ass handed to him on a silver platter and force himself to be introspective about it. Why did I lose this fight? What can I do differently? How can I grow as a person?
Punisher is a good example of that.
That also helps your character be more relatable to your reader. Because when we go up as individuals against like hard events, we don't always win, and we have to learn from our losses.
Unless you're rich and white.
Well,
rich white males, we don't relate at all.
You are exactly right. You don't want to see this character step in and be a total badass. Even so, one of my favorite animated series of all, actually, my favorite animated series of all time is Avatar: The Last Airbender. And
I love that show.
It's I feel like I'm working for Netflix because it just came out. Like I'm plugging it. It's on Netflix now. Yeah. And it is my favorite animated series of all time, period, hands down. And one of the reasons is because of that hero's journey, is because he doesn't start out as the Avatar on episode 1. He has to grow and he has to learn. He has to master these elements. And by book 4, series 3 or whatever, season 3, he has finally mastered all these elements, and now he can become the Avatar. He is the ultimate realization of what he should be. He doesn't start out just blowing everybody away. You have to give Superman his kryptonite, or else he's not going to be relatable.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's a good example. It's because even Superman was a little.
That's true.
It's kind of like if you think about it, like it's a nerdy example, but it's like Pokemon. If Ash just killed everybody in the beginning, there wouldn't be a story. There'd be nothing to progress it.
Totally true.
But it seems like before we go, some people need to pee
desperately
and pop another beer. So we're gonna take another quick beer break, really quick.
Wow, look at us go!
I am so fucking torn right now because I want to have this. I'm going to go with a new beer. I do. I'm going to drink, but I'm going to drink this chocolate.
Save it.
Oh my God, it's so good. I have 4 more of those, thank God, in the fridge. It's so good. All right, I'm popping a new beer.
Wonderful. All right, beer break, go.
Go do what you got to do.
Oh, pee.
Well, it looks like Lauren and Robbie are off to get another beer. Seems like a lot of beer, you two. I know I'm supposed to plug your social media and such, but have you ever considered the idea that you might have a drinking problem? Are my words falling on deaf ears? Oh, I'm so alone during these cutaways. Be sure to check out their social media and their Patreon, I guess. Now, back to the show.
And we are back from our beer break / bathroom break.
I had to pee so bad.
I don't need to know about
your
your bowel
peed so long,
You talked about your period. She talked about her period last week.
You brought up periods.
It's more like an exclamation point, am I right?
Yeah, it's a question mark. It's definitely a question mark.
Oh. Yeah, that too.
That's an author joke. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have.
Oh. I know nothing. Okay.
I'm an author now,
you are.
right?
You are. Congratulations. It's like being knighted. You have to kneel, first of all. You have to kneel.
I can't do that right now, but
he will fall over.
I will fall over. Well, we were talking about Dave's new book, but now I kind of want to be knighted.
I threw that curveball at you, and now it's all you're thinking about.
Oh my!
I have a good name for it. I have a 3-part name: Sir Ernest Robert Burgoyne.
Oh my God! My God!
Yeah, he really. That's what he's in my phone as. I have his full name as my contact information for Robbie. Yes.
Honestly, I'm gonna. I'm changing it right now. Hang on. Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Stellar.
But it drives me insane because every time I look for his name, I type in Robbie, and I'm like, God damn it! I haven't been as his full name. Oh, okay.
If you use that as a character in your next book, okay. I just want to be a dwarf. Can I be a dwarf?
I don't have dwarves in my.
Are there any dwarves
universe?
that exist?
No.
I was going to say those.
You can be a short
there
person.
Are no dwarves.
There's a short person.
A midget. We say midget
can
on the show, by the way.
The M word.
We don't have to say. 100%. They're not real people. They don't have.
Robbie, you can't say that.
That's the
you
Amish.
can say midget. You can't say they're not real people.
You're thinking of the Amish.
The same thing, right? Amish midgets.
Amish midgets.
I can't with you two.
That sounds.
Are
honestly,
you kidding me?
I would love to have a hardcore band called the Amish Midgets. It just sounds like a great band name, doesn't it?
Wait. Can we combine Breaking Amish and what is it, like Little People or whatever? Yeah,
World.
can we just Little People Amish World? Can we combine the two and just have like Little Amish?
Look,
people?
I don't know where.
Oh my
Shut
God.
up and take my money. Is all I'm saying.
Oh no! Can we make like all of their ponies like
Little People
miniature
Amish
ponies,
World.
too?
Holy
I
shit!
can't.
It's even a great
That sounds
title.
so terrible right now.
Oh my God!
What about Mennonites? So Mennonites are kind of like Amish.
Are they?
The midget.
I know a Mennonite. One of my dad's co-authors is a Mennonite. He's a Mennonite pastor. He's a
Really?
normal ass dude. He wears color and stuff. Like he wears like.
Wow.
You would not be able to tell that he's. Yeah, I think that's like a actual common misconception is that Mennonites and Amish are the same kind of people. But he like drives a car, like he wears regular clothing.
Yeah.
It's just like it's
so
like
they're
a
like
very
modern Amish folk.
Yeah, right? Isn't that
Interesting.
totally crazy?
They're more
What
like
about
real
Quakers?
people.
super progressive Amish people. Yeah,
Yeah, Quakers are more. Aren't
They're
Quakers more
hippies.
along the lines
Yeah,
of
they
Amish?
tend-
Yeah, they're kind of like hippie
No, they're not.
Amish.
they tend to make like oats.
Quakers
and stuff
are the
like
hippie
that.
Amish. Mennonites are the modern Amish, and the Amish are just the Amish.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't watch TV or listen to this podcast, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Worst.
Fuck the Amish. They'll never hear
no,
me
I
say
didn't
that.
say that.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what every comedian says. It's like you make all the Amish jokes you want. They're never gonna fucking hear it.
Unless they're on their Rumspringa.
And then they'll know. Oh God. All of your Rumspringa Amish fans, they're like, well, I am never listening to this podcast again. That's
Yeah. We're gonna get 1,000 downloads from Pennsylvania in one day. Like,
Yeah,
from
you're welcome.
Oh, Jesus. All right, wait.
Oh.
I have one more question about your book.
One more. He's a busy man. He's got things to do.
Okay. There are two. I'm only about 6 chapters in. I don't know. Some many chapters in. But there are 2 characters that I'm really intrigued in right now. And that's I can't remember them because I'm a little bit drunk, but it's like Ramus or something like that. He far steps.
Even Dave's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yes, thank you. Rathma. I knew there was an R and a T in there somewhere.
Close.
I don't
Uncle
know.
Remus. Yes. Uncle Remus is
Thank
a character.
you, thank
in my
you.
book. Yeah, Rathma.
Rathma.
Yes.
I'm real excited about this character. He seems very interesting to me.
That was why he is, I think, he's chapter 1. I want to say he's chapter 1. Yes. I opened.
He is chapter 1. He absolutely is.
I opened with his chapter. He's a new character that I am introducing, and he's from a place that's called Beyond the Wastes, or readers of the first book will be familiar with the Wastes of Kulakorum, and that's where Rathma is from. And you're exactly right. He's a rare kind of breed of human who is called a far stepper, who basically teleports. He's Nightcrawler.
Right.
Without the blue skin.
That was really cool to me.
Totally.
When he like turned around and then he was just like, oh well, and then disappeared. I was like, wait, what happened? Where did it go? How did he do that? That was so cool.
I loved writing that first chapter because it was so action packed, and that was, like I said, I have that prologue with Kunis, but chapter 1 is just this dude who is going full fucking ninja on like a fortified compound. He's breaking in, he's scaling walls, he's stabbing dudes in the throat, and he's
basically the James Bond of this book.
He kind of is. and it's really funny because one of my favorite lines from the book comes from a rewrite that I did when my editor came back and was like, look, he's making this bow shot that is basically, it's like, no regular archer is going to be able to make that shot. So could we maybe put something in about like how he's a really good archer? Could we maybe mention that? Because otherwise people aren't going to believe this. One of my
is that where you say?
Go.
I'm so sorry. Is that where you say? There are only 2 people that could make the shot, and it's him and him on a bad day.
Yes. That is precisely
yes,
the line.
I love that line. I love it. Honestly, so I'm the person that when I pick up a book, I look at the front cover, I read the back cover, and I start the first chapter. And this book absolutely would have captivated me from the very beginning because it's so like subtly action-packed from the very beginning that you're just like, okay, I'm this character has me captivated, and that's coming from somebody who the first book starts off with Thornton, who is basically, what I gather, is like the opposite of this person.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of get this guy as a bad guy, and I get Thornton as like such like a good guy. Like, both of your books start out with like such opposites.
I am so happy
to me.
You said that is wonderful to hear. That's so, and especially because
Okay,
you remember
good.
the
So
line. Yeah, and it was, and I just started doing. I'm not sure if I'm going to go through with actually recording the audiobook for book 2 because it's a lot.
Oh my God, please do it. Please do it. Please
All right,
do it.
Maybe. I need to set up like a Patreon like you guys. I'm going to take a page out of your book and do something like that because it's a lot of work. But I just did the reading for it. I just did the reading for chapter 1. So the line is, there are 2 people who could have made that shot, and they are Rathma and Rathma on a bad day. And it was like, and that came from the rewrite from the editor. That that wasn't in the first draft. And that's one of the things that I love about the creative process is that you take your feedback, and sometimes you go back, and that's like one of my favorite lines from the book. And it wasn't even in there.
It's so good.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really glad you like that.
Yeah. It was really great. I listen, anyone out there who reads, I highly recommend this book. And I haven't even finished it yet, so.
Even better.
Yeah.
It ends with a bang.
Honestly, we could talk to Dave literally all day about his book, and maybe we'll do it again sometime soon. But before we go, we need to rate our beers.
Oh, shit.
'Cause that's something we do on this podcast. Lauren, we don't care what you do. But okay. Dave, go over your beers.
All right.
You got this. 1 out of 5.
Okay, so so I'm on my 3rd beer, which I understand is going to be some bonus content. Am I right in that?
Yes. Yeah,
it
we
certainly
can save that
is.
All right, I'm going to save that one for the next one. But so I'll start with the Incline Cider Company, the Mary and Berry cider. As far as ciders go, it was a curveball. It was an absolute curveball because it doesn't taste the way that I am used to ciders tasting, and I do enjoy a lot of ciders. Almost all the time, if I see a cider in a bar, because of my narrow beer taste, I will take one. This was a totally different cider, and I was genuinely impressed with it. And I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because it's not the perfect cider, but it is very good. It tasted very refreshing, was extremely crisp, and I was genuinely impressed with it. Now, the Campfire Stout from Highwater Brewing blew my fucking mind. And it should, okay. I think there was like an entire just 5 minutes where I was just raving about it, where it really does taste like dark chocolate melted and poured directly into my mouth. This I give a 5 out of 5. It's probably, to be quite honest, one of my new favorite beers, and I'm going to look for it if I ever see it again. I am just excellent so choice. Impressed with it. So Campfire Stout from Highwater Brewing, 5 out of 5.
Wow,
nice.
I really want this beer.
I thought you had it because when you visited me in California, I thought we bought some.
I did buy a Highwater beer, but it was a cherry sour, and then I bought the Belching Beaver peanut butter stout, which was
terrible.
Phenomenal.
None of those things sound good. Like a peanut butter Belching Beaver. Oh, hard pass.
Listen,
it's got to be great with a name like that.
I love a good beaver.
Fair point.
Thank you.
Fair point.
And peanut butter is delicious. So,
I mean, peanut butters and beavers are basically they go hand in hand, right? Like cocaine and waffles.
You're not wrong.
Lauren, what about you?
So my first beer was See the Change, as in SEA, the change, from Untold Brewing and Vitamin C Brewing. Again, see. It was a double IPA. Shut the fuck up. It was double IPA, 8%. It was piney and fruity and really good, and I would rate it a 3.5. And my second beer was PM Dawn, which is an American stout with cold brew coffee from Trillium Brewing at 9% ABV. It was bitter and stouty, and I would rate it a 3.
Nice.
Yep, thank you.
Really? A 3? Okay.
It's I wish that it was a little bit sweeter.
I guess. I
That's
don't know. Coffee's bitter. I feel like it's supposed to
no,
be.
and
But
I
don't
get
know.
that
I
it's
get
made
it.
with cold brew coffee, but like I just want it to be sweeter.
That's why you.
I'm glad
that's
it's
why
not
you-
as boozy as it could.
That's why you pour milk
What?
and sugar into it. That's that enhances the flavor.
But to answer your
bit of
Facebook
Baileys.
question, Dave, I take my coffee black. So
You saw my post. Atta girl.
I had the winning comment.
I
Okay,
know.
let's
Well,
be honest.
I almost used that, Robbie, because I know that that's your thing. You use that joke all the time,
Robbie,
and I fucking love it.
That's
Robbie,
my
do us a
thing.
favor. My post was a question of
What?
I posted a selfie of me drinking coffee, working on the book, and I said, so the real question is, how do you take your coffee? And Robbie answered by saying,
I like my coffee like I like my women. Ground up and in a
you
bag.
fucking murderer. And I think I posted a picture of Dexter as the reply.
Yes. Normally people say, I like my women black. And it's like, that's not funny. That's
Ground
overused.
up and in a freezer.
Ground up
Ground
up in the
up.
freezer. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, in
Thank
the
you for
freezer.
the
too.
nightmare fuel, you absolute monster.
So I drank Harpoon Dragon Vice. And I probably shouldn't have dented this can.
Asshole.
I have another. I have some
Nah, don't worry about it. I
This
got
is a-
more.
Dragon Fruit and Hibiscus Berliner Weiss from Harpoon. Not too bad. Not zero dragon fruit, mostly hibiscus. Very refreshing. Something you'd be outside with, like on a hot summer day.
Is it a
So,
beach
like, in
beer?
It is definitely a beach beer, not
Great.
something to be drinking, like podcasting, recording, and That in mind, 2.75 to 3. Like in that, I feel like I have to have this outside. I need to have this out in the sun. It'd be more refreshing.
Inside, it's a 273. 275?
There you go.
275?
Numbers.
Oh boy. Inside 3.2.
That is the
No, outside 3.
That is the first conditional beer I think I've ever come across. That's amazing.
We've done it a couple times.
There are a
We've
few
talked about it
beers.
at least. Be like, this would be much better on like a hot summer day outside than inside.
Yeah.
It's like a stout. Sometimes a stout is not good in the summer.
I had that sour beer once that was a Bloody Mary sour. Alone,
Yeah.
disgusting. If you had it with like shrimp cocktail or something, it would have been fucking phenomenal. But I ruined it by drinking it alone. It was the worst.
Oh, no. The second beer I drank was a Berliner Weiss with blackberry from Stoneface Brewing in New Hampshire. Very good.
love
Stoneface does a lot
Stoneface.
of good stuff. It's 3.7% alcohol, so I'm going to give it a 3.75.
Oh,
I think that's a fair-
directly
I think
tied
that's a
into the
fair
rating.
score.
Nice.
It's got to be.
Their whole Berliner Weiss series is phenomenal. If you
Yeah.
see it in a store, get it
it's
because
good.
it's super good.
Florida? I doubt it.
What?
Stoneface?
I've seen a couple.
No, they're not in Florida.
Oh, I was gonna say
Though there's Stone. There's Stone, which
Stone.
is like a bigger company.
Stone IPA.
And then there's Stoneface.
Yeah.
That's Jim Cook, the son of
The Sam Adams
Boston
guy.
Beer Company.
Really?
Sam Adams.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. He's based out of in the West. He's based out of California. Well, Sam Adams is based out of Boston. So
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware.
But if you,
Little fact.
we'll
Sam
send you some.
fucking
I'll send you
Adams.
some Stoneface.
Sam fucking Adams.
Dave, you send me some High Water, and I'll send you some Stoneface.
You got yourself a deal. Oh, absolutely.
Fuck yeah,
That's
that's
a
how we
crime.
do
Yeah.
business,
That's-
people.
That is FBI if you're FBI if you're listening. This is totally illegal.
No, don't do that. I'm editing this. I can do that.
yeah. Totally true.
But he's gonna leave it
This
in
is how
because he's
Smokey
lazy.
and the
It's
Bandit
okay.
was first conceived. We're recreating Smokey and the
That's
Bandit.
true. I gotta harness my inner Burt Reynolds. Well, that just about wraps it up for this episode. You can find the Brew Interviews on our Instagram account at The Brew Interviews or on Twitter at Brew Interviews. You can also send us an email at thebrewinterviews@gmail.com or on Facebook under The Brew Interviews. If you feel so inclined, you can head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/thebrewinterviews and become part of the Brew Interviews family, just like these few people: Hillary, Mitch, Steph, Karen, Danny, Jess, and the Wreck My Podcast crew. Thank you very much for supporting the show. Also, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps us out. And if you have any interest in Mr. D.L. Jennings, be sure to check out our extra content on Patreon. where we're going to go into a little bit of extra background stuff.
Yay! Extra content.
Dave, where can the people find you?
It's a really good story. First of all, it's a really good story.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about his.
Lauren, shut up.
Okay.
Go, Dave.
Easy.
I know where that was going. Go,
Yes.
Dave.
The easiest way to find me is at my website, dl-jennings.com. You could also find me under Amazon.com. Just search for DL Jennings. I'm the guy who looks like he was in the Air Force at one point. Generally, if you search, DL Jennings or Dave Jennings, Jessica Alba selfie, that's what I'm more famous for.
Yep.
For that extra Patreon content, that's the story that you're gonna really want to look for.
That was on our first episode, actually.
I'm so happy.
I kept that in. I'm pretty
I
sure
hope you
I kept
did.
that in.
It's just I can't listen or watch interviews that I've been a part of. If you guys know Brian Cox, he was in Super Troopers. He was in Braveheart. Old British. I think he's British, or is he Scottish? I don't remember. Anyways, he's like, I can never watch anything that I'm in. It's just I feel the exact same way. I'm embarrassed for myself anytime that I'm like, oh God, what am I doing? Oh, it's terrible. So I definitely don't listen to interviews that I've been a part of. Obviously, nothing personal because I love both you guys. I just can't do it. I cannot watch or listen to myself. But dl-jennings.com is the best way to find me, and I got links to all the books, both Gift of the Shaper and Awaken the Three.
Excellent.
Yes.
For
Just.
the brew interviews.
Oh. I was just gonna say.
What do you want to say?
Oh, let her
What do you want
speak.
to say?
Let her
I
speak. I always like what she has to say.
I was just gonna say that I hope you know that your interview has been one of my favorite episodes. Your first interview with us was our favorite episode, whether you listen to it or not. So just you interview well. That's all I was gonna say.
Thanks,
You
Lauren.
did.
Thanks, Robbie, to a lesser degree, but thank you mostly, Lauren.
You're welcome.
Well, I have so much fun talking with you guys. You guys are such great hosts, and I think it's because of the fact that we're friends, and I really enjoy talking with you guys. It's very fun. You guys are very, extremely personable people, very funny, and you can post that as a quote on your website, which I strongly encourage you to do.
Woo! For the brew interviews, I'm Robbie.
And I'm Lauren.
And I'm Dave.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Yeah, cheers.
This has been The Brew Interviews, a podcast about craft beers coast to coast with Lauren and Robbie.
Peanut butters and beavers are basically they go hand in hand, right? Like cocaine and waffles.